This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where you bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
In compliance, the value of anonymous reporting is undeniable. But with Ethico, anonymity doesn't mean a loss of connection. Our blinded, two-way communication fosters an environment of trust and confidentiality, encouraging open and honest dialogue. It's not just about receiving reports. It's about understanding the story behind each one, creating a culture of integrity and respect. Transform your approach to anonymous reporting with Ethico. Begin your journey at ethico.com/CPN, where you can book a demo, access an exclusive white paper by Tom Fox titled The ROI of Compliance, and utilize our free ROI calculator.
Today we consider what are an employee's rights in an interview. Must an investigator warn an employee that concealing information from company lawyers conducting an internal investigation be a federal crime? Is such a warning required even if the company attorneys provide the now standard Upjohn warning? Does a company attorney asking questions that morph into a de facto federal agent during an internal investigation impact whether or not a Miranda warning is required? Well, these are all important questions that employees need to understand their rights to, but equally well, employers need to understand these rights because what you garner during an employee investigation will be obviously critical. So let's start with the Upjohn warning. The Upjohn warning has been around for some time. In the Upjohn warning, employees are warned that, or at least told that, lawyers or others conducting the investigation are representing the company and not the employees. From this, you may next need to consider what are employees' rights if they say they want a lawyer present. Are you going to stop the interview? Are you going to suspend the interview? If you do allow company employees to have lawyers, who's going to pay for those lawyers? That can be a big incentive for employees to have lawyers representing them because obviously they feel more protection if they have their own lawyer, but who's going to pay for that? If the company pays for it, who does that lawyer is, who holds the privilege and who does the lawyer have a duty to? Well, in most states, the client is the one the lawyer holds the duty to, even if someone else is paying for that. But what happens in an investigation if an employee is named as someone who engaged in bribery and corruption or some other illegal action? Well, does the employee have the right to sue for defamation? What if the internal investigation turns over information to the Department of Justice, which would impugn an employee, but it turns out the employee wasn't culpable? All of these are important questions that you must consider, but also explains or shows why you have to get an investigation right. As you know, this month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, including this podcast, is Ethico. Have you ever wondered about the ROI of your compliance program or had concerns with presenting budget proposals to your CFO? Well, I partnered with Ethico to write a white paper on the ROI of compliance and how you can think through compliance as an investment strategy. Ethico has put together a ROI calculator for you. Check them out on the website. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.